Hello, happy Wednesday. I'm Carolyn Blinska. If you have not met me yet, I am the owner of e-commerce Backstage Pass, the Facebook group. So if you're not in that group yet, jump over there and join. It's completely free. So I like to do these Facebook Lives every day, Monday to Friday, and Wednesdays I've decided are my Q&A, ask me anything about e-commerce. So I've got a few questions that have been sent through to me. If you are on here live and you want to ask me a question, just ask away at the bottom of the video. If you're coming on, please come and say hello because I can't always see who's coming on. It sometimes looks like there aren't people there and there are, so just say hello. I'm just going to post this over in the group, so just give me a second. I'm pretty excited actually. So for people who don't know me and don't know my story, I'm currently living in Spain. I actually I do marketing, but I also have partnerships in different e-commerce stores. But I'm creating my own e-commerce store, which I'm doing. It's called the 500,000K dollar challenge, so 500K challenge. And in that challenge, what I'm doing is that I'm going through the process of actually earning $500,000 in 12 months in my own business, in my own e-commerce store. And in that 12-month period, I'm not working more than 5 hours a week on that business. So it's not something that I'm going to rush and get put together straight away. It's something that I'm doing as a side project, and I'm proving that it is possible to live off the income of just working a couple of hours a week. So I'm just going to post this over in the group. 1 second. And then I'm going to turn off my Facebook on my page because otherwise we'll keep hearing that ding. So let's get this in a group. Okay, wonderful. It's over there now. So, okay, so I'm really excited about that. I'm doing that at the moment. That's one of my projects. But another thing that I've got going on at the moment is that I'm actually packing up my whole life. I'm currently in Spain, as I said, in Barcelona. I'm packing up my life and I'm going completely nomad. I also have a radio show here in Barcelona that's called Digital Nomads Uncovered, where I interview different people who travel and work and are completely location independent. And the whole idea of the podcast, the radio show, is that it shows that there's no such thing as just one way of working anymore. Everyone works how they want to work. So I was here, but I was traveling a lot, whereas now I'm going completely nomad. So I'm getting rid of the apartment I'm living in and going on the road. And one thing I'm doing is on the 25th of this month and the 1st of November, I'm running 2 events in London. So I'm super excited about that. If you're going to be in London, the event on the 25th is 100% free. It's a presentation. I'll be doing a presentation about e-commerce and how to better get how to get new customers, how to make sales, how to get people returning, a whole lot of stuff. And that is a presentation and a Q&A session, so you can come along live. I've only got, the space that I'm using only has 70 people allowed, so you've got to get on the list and just ask me if you don't know. There is an event floating around on Facebook. You'll also come into e-commerce Backstage Pass. I'll post the actual event there. It's here on my Carolyn Blinska brand page as well, the link for that event. Come along to that event if you're in London. It's going to be great. You'll get to network with other people, ask questions that you might not know about for your own business, and better your business along the way. So I'm really excited about that. That's the free event on the 25th of October. And then the 1st of November, I'm actually doing a workshop where it's an intense 3-hour workshop. So if you're the sort of person that's sitting there saying, hey, you know what, I just want to go to that next level, I've got a really super special price on that at the moment. The price will be going up to £300, but at the moment it's only £90. So first people in can get access to that at the super discounted price. And we're going to go hard. So small group of people, I'll be taking you through. You bring your laptops and we sit down, and for 3 hours we go hard, intense on your website, and you'll walk out with a whole new business. So I'm excited about that as well. Okay, so the Q&A today. So as I said, at the live event in London, I'll be doing Q&A there as well. But I like to do these live as well on my Facebook Live. I've got some questions that I want to run through. One question I had from Shane, who this question came up in a workshop that I was doing with a group of people. And the question is, create another email address contacting. Okay, so Shane's talking about contacting bloggers, and she wants to know, does she create a different email address for contacting bloggers or the same one? Now, in Shane's situation, they are using another person to send the emails. It's not actually the people that run the company that are sending the emails. So what I suggest in that case, if you want someone to outreach to bloggers or Instagram people and get you some publicity, then I recommend that you use your main email address. Don't use a private, don't let the person use their private email address. Make sure you're actually using your business email. So maybe create an email address that it might be publicity at your business, it might be news at your business, it might be media at your business, it might just be hello at your business, whatever your business name is. But don't let the person sending the email send them from their private email address. That's a big no-no, because if they leave or if something goes wrong and you don't get access to those emails, then you lose a great opportunity. So use your own emails in that case, your own email address. So Kelly asked me, should I use Pinterest for baby clothes? And my answer is yes, 100%. I actually would recommend going really hard on advertising. When I say go hard on advertising, try it out, do some testing, test out a few different ways of doing your ads. Maybe you use pictures of the babies, maybe you use pictures of just the clothes, but try different things out and actually promote your posts. Also look at, I'll give you the name of it, hang on, I'll pull it up if I can find it right away. If not, okay, I found it. There's a really, really good website that I highly recommend if you want to do anything with Pinterest. This wasn't part of the question, but I'm just going to give you this advice. Pinterest is all about pinning things. You probably know that. But there's this whole, I don't want to say underworld, but there's a way to get your pins out there. So a lot of people are up there and they're saying, oh, well, I'm pinning stuff, but nothing's happening. I get 3 people that repin my pin and that's it. So there's actually this whole little underground network. It's a network of people. And you join these networks. So when you join, okay, the website's called pingroupie.com, pingroupie.com. And what you do when you go to that website, there's a whole list of group pin boards. And you find the topic that you know, if it's food, if it's baby clothes, if it's business, whatever it might be, you find your group on there. And then you go to that group and you follow the board. And then you contact the actual person who created. So you click on the people that are following the board. You go to the creator and you ask them for access to be able to pin on that board. Once you do that, you can pin your pins there, but the thing is you must be pinning other people's stuff out of that board as well. So don't go in there greedy and just say, oh, well, I'm just going to get everyone to pin my things and I don't care. You need to have a system in place where you pin something and then, you pin up your post and then you pin like 10, 15 of other people's stuff and back and forth, because if you don't, people are going to notice that. So you need to understand that it's a two-way street. And the great thing is there's thousands of people in these groups. So it means you post something up there, you might get 100 of them posting and repinning your particular thing. And that means that they're in the same industry as you, whether it's food, whether it's baby clothes. So it's going to be going out to the right people. So it's all inside your network. So you don't just go and just pin something in a group and there's 5 people that sell cars and 5 people that sell motorbikes and 5 people that sell baby clothes and hope that someone's going to pick it up. No, these groups are actually very, very specific to your industry. So it's fantastic for that reason. And you'll find that you're going to go really, really far using that particular website. So it's pingroupie.com, pingroupie.com. So jump in that on that website, have a look through there. There's so many groups to choose from, but make sure you're doing it properly. So that was just a little bit of extra advice that I can offer you. Amy then asked me, you said yesterday in a Facebook Live, to send birthday emails. How can you ask for birthdays? Okay, so if you didn't listen to yesterday's Facebook Live, if you didn't listen to yesterday's Facebook Live, then you should go back and listen to it. I spoke about 3 ways to get people back to your website. And one thing that I said was using birthday emails. And the great thing about that is if you, and I brought this up yesterday, it all came up because yesterday was my birthday, and I was looking through my feed and I noticed things that said happy birthday or hey, I saw it's your birthday. It was my birthday, so I was taking notice of those things. And if you can send an email to someone on their birthday, then when they're scrolling through their emails and they're seeing invoice, bill, open this, do you want to open this? And then they say happy birthday, which one do you think they're going to open? Of course they're going to open the one that says happy birthday. So if you actually send a message to someone on their birthday and say happy birthday, here's a 10% discount just for today as a special birthday present for you, they are going to get, first of all, they're going to open it. Second of all, they're going to be like, hang on, it is my birthday. So that means they do care, they do know that it's my birthday, and they are sending this to me personally. This is not going out to everyone. This is something just for me. So they're going to know that it is a personalized email. Now, email systems do allow you to do this. You can set this up in an email system, in some of the email systems, the management systems, that you can have it send out emails for for the people's birthdays. So this is not a manual thing. You're not doing this manually. This is all automated. Now, how do you collect the emails? That was a question that I got from Amy. How do you collect the emails? Well, there's a few different ways you can do it. You can either put them into a competition where you say, here's a competition, we need your date of birth to enter the competition. You might on your homepage say, to make sure that we customize the information to you properly, we would like to ask for your birthday. Now, you don't ask for the year, you ask for the month and the day. You might even want to just ask for the month and just say, you know, what month is your birthday? And then on the 1st of every month, you send everyone from the month of October a message, hey, I know this month's your birthday. Here's a special discount that you can use in the next 30 days. So that's also a nice personalized thing. If I got that on the 1st of October saying, hey, I know this month's your birthday, that's still personalized. It might not be for the month, for the actual day, but at least it's the right month. So just think about that as well. It doesn't have to be what is your date of birth, the month and the date. You can actually just ask for the actual month. So there's different ways you can do that. You might turn around and ask them because it might just be part of the questions that you ask. It might be inside when they're purchasing. There's so many different ways you can do it. You could just send out an email to everyone that is already on your list and say, hey, we're just updating information. We'd love to know when your birthday is because we've got some great things that are going on. We've got some great promotions that we've got coming up. So if you could please just click here and send them to a page and they can update their information about their email address that's on your system. And then you can collect their email address from there. So this is, again, an automated thing. You don't need to be going through and doing this manually. You can do this automatically as well, depending on which system you're using. So that's another way you can do it. But I highly recommend if you can find a way to ask them, like I said, competition, or it might be the fact that you just send an email to your list saying, hey, we're just updating our databases. We'd love to know when your birthday is. Just ask for the month if you don't feel comfortable asking them for the day as well. Don't ever ask for the year because it's probably not relevant in most businesses. But ask them and let them know we're personalizing our data so then we can facilitate you better. So we've got better services for you. So it's a really nice way to, you know, get the information. And have that as an option on your form where they don't have to fill it out. If you don't feel comfortable forcing someone, don't force them to give you that. The only piece of information you need is an email address. Everything else is just like a bonus extra. It's like when you collect a first name. It's a nice extra service to send an email, hi Caroline, here's an blah, 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 rather than just a hey or g'day or oi, or whatever you write at the top, or good morning. You know, by putting a name, it just personalizes it. So an email, a date of birth is just taking that to the next level and just adds to that, you know, how can we get someone back to our website? I've got a question here. Oh no, Dawn is saying, I don't have a question. Oh, just admiring your beauty. Thanks, Dawn. That's very sweet of you. And then I've got another question. Last question is from, so if anyone's on here now and you want to ask a question, anything e-commerce, please ask away in the chat below. I actually can't see who's on here, so you can just say hello or just write a message below if you want to ask me a question and I'll answer the question. I've only got one last question at the moment, so happy to answer any questions that come through. So John asked me, I am told to tell my story to sell more. How can I do that? I don't want to be the face of my business. Okay, this was a really good question. John sent this through to me via Facebook Messenger. He's in Australia, so he can't actually get on live because the time over in Australia is completely different. So his question is about the fact that he wants to know about telling his story. I have spoken about this before, and this is very important because there's a huge culture of people running around all over the internet at the moment saying, tell your story, tell your story. If you don't tell your story, you'll never sell anything. And I can tell you that that is pretty much BS. So the first thing I always say to my clients when I start working with a new e-commerce client and they do anything on their website, the first thing I always say is, who cares? Like, does that person actually care enough that that is going to be something that makes or breaks a sale? Now, some things are going to be yes and some things are going to be no. So you've got to decide what on your website is the most important thing. And telling your story most of the time is not going to be important in the fact of what you're actually doing. So a really good example was that I was talking to a woman who does, it's an e-commerce store, and I'm not calling anyone out. I'm not here to call people out and say, this is, what this person was doing. I just want to give you an example. And this particular website, on the homepage, there was a big picture of this person across the whole homepage. They sold fashion items, whole picture, and it said something, underneath it, I am the person that designs this. And I just said, well, this is actually not relevant because this actual brand had so many great selling features. They had it was all about what it was made from and how it got delivered and blah, blah, blah. There was all these things that made this brand really, really good. And the actual person who made the product, unless they were Versace or Coco Chanel, it really was not relevant to the person buying it. So once we stripped everything back, we broke it down, and I was asking, what about this? What about this? And once we actually broke it down, we realized delivery, returns, their returns policy was excellent. The products that the stuff that their products were made from, the comfort, all of these things that came into it was so much more important. So telling your story is not always the best way to go, and a lot of the times it's not. I find even me, I tell my story when people ask me. I do make mention that I do have these businesses. I'm doing my whole 500K challenge at the moment, and that's more about me showing you how I work through the process. That's not just telling you about my history, because I guess my history, and I mention it sometimes, yep, I've had e-commerce before, to let people know, I've been in this industry for a long time, for 10 years, but you're not going to land on my homepage and read 20 paragraphs about, every single thing that I did over the last 10, 15 years, because it's not that relevant, all of those details. I just go, boom, yes, I had an e-commerce store 10 years ago, before Shopify was around, before WooCommerce was around. Yes, I've been in this industry for a long time. Yes, I understand all the payment methods because I've been through all of those things. Yes, I've got lots of clients doing it. Yes, I'm in partnership now with people, but I don't go into a lot of detail. And I've got another client of mine at the moment. He makes all handmade clothes, and we broke down his actual sales, his about section, and we broke that down to the most important things. I'm not saying not everything is going to be important. There's probably going to be nice little pieces that are going to be very important, but it's not telling you, you don't need to tell your whole story. And in the case of John, he doesn't want to be the face of his business. So unless there's something really unique, like he invented some new plastic that no one else has ever seen, and it does something, takes you to the moon, then it's probably not important that he puts his personal story out there. He could probably just get away with explaining what the technology is, what the item is, and how it benefits. So benefits always do better than the facts. So yes, we understand, like John saying, John is the person behind the brand, but what is the benefit of that product to the person? So always think about the benefit. Is it going to be more comfortable? Is it going to be faster? Is it going to be easier? Is it going to give them more something? What is the benefit of that product? And your story is probably not always going to be that relevant, and most of the time it's not going to be relevant at all. It's probably what you're actually selling is more relevant than your actual story behind it. But of course, I'm not saying always. Sometimes it is actually your story, but sometimes, most of the time, it's not. So Richard is asking, what about just investing and not really having a company? Is that an avenue that you've been down and that has been an asset? Okay, so just investing, I think, Richard, you mean investing in other people's stores? I have invested, but I don't just invest. I invest in partnerships in businesses, but I always do the marketing side, and then that person always does they take care of their business side. I just take care of the marketing, and we split the shares. But I'm still working on it. I'm not just investing money. I'm investing my experience, my knowledge, my team behind it, and we take care of all of that. And okay, Rich is just telling me about a website he wants me to take a look at. I'll take a look afterwards, Richard, no problems. And this is a part of what I'm getting into. Yeah. Okay, so I love Shark Tank and I love Dragon's Den, those two shows. And if you watch them, and I've literally watched every episode in 8 or 9 years, like that's one of the things that I'm completely up to date with. And the UK, Canada, America, Australia, I'm up to date with everything. I'm obsessed with that show. And one thing that you hear every single time is that they talk about investing into these businesses, and every single time an entrepreneur comes on stage and says, oh, well, I just want your money, and when I take, sorry, cut out, and the entrepreneur will say, I just want to take your money and you'll get this percentage, 10, 20, 50%, whatever. And every single time Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, doesn't matter which country it's in, they always say the same thing. They say, we're not investing just our money, we're investing us. We're investing who we are. We're investing our knowledge. We're investing our databases. We're investing everything that we can bring to the table. And it's never just about money. And there was like on every single panel, whichever country you look at of the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank, there's always one guy on that panel who's always just an investor. He calls himself just an investor. He just invests money. But even he will always say he's bringing more to the table than just bringing the money. So I guess, Richard, to answer your question, I never just bring money into a situation. I bring my money, but my money also brings my experience, my knowledge, and my team. So I don't know it from the side of just bringing in money, because I haven't done that. I guess bringing in just money would be me investing in the stock market, going along and putting money into shares and saying, you know, I'm putting $10,000 into shares, and that's it. That to me is investing in that sort of way. Whereas I think if you want to invest with the website that you're showing me there, Richard, unless they are actually a publicly listed company and you're just buying shares, but if you're investing into a business like that, chances are you're going to be investing more than just your money. You're going to be investing something else. A lot of even silent shareholders in companies give more than just giving money. So yes, of course, there are cases that you can just invest some money, so that is one thing, but I guess I don't know that side of it. I've never been in that situation except investing in shares. Investing in businesses, I always give my time, my effort, my knowledge, my team, you know, anything like that goes into what I do. So I guess it depends on what you can bring to the table. And from my point of view, when I sit down and I analyze my investment into a company, I look at, okay, well, I'm going to be investing my team into it. So my marketing team comes along, my social media team, they all come along, and I know I charge out at this much per hour. If they were to go and get it done, this is what they'd be paying for it. I'm bringing that in, but I'm also bringing, you know, my connections. I've got, you know, good connections. I have so much knowledge with different parts of e-commerce. So I take all of that into account when it comes to me working out what I'm actually worth. And if you're not sure about that, watch a couple of episodes of Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, and you'll see exactly what I mean. They do exactly the same thing, and I love it. I find it very interesting, and I actually love investing in different companies. I've owned my own companies, many businesses in Australia over the years, and I actually prefer it this way. I prefer investing in other companies. Yes, I'm starting my own e-commerce store at the moment, but I actually prefer investing into businesses because I love the diversity. I love being out there and doing lots of different things. That's why I love marketing, because I love helping people build a great business. And people say to me, well, why don't you have your own? I think that just having one business for me, or a couple of businesses of that same thing, would bore me. And I think that's why I like to have that, the ability to work in different businesses. So that's it. That's all about investing for me. So any other questions at the moment? No. So thank you everyone for being here. As I said, next week, Wednesday, another one of these. Send in your questions if you can't make it on live, or ask away in the actual chat box down below. I love hearing from everyone. I love answering questions. If you've got more questions, please just put them down there, and I'll check back through the Facebook feed of this video after the video goes when I finish doing the live. If you're not in my e-commerce group yet, come into it. E-commerce Backstage Pass Facebook group. It's completely free. I've got something pretty cool coming up in the next few weeks, so go along to my website and go to carolinebelinska.com/blog. and go and look at, I think it's the last blog that's there. It's about my 500k challenge. Sign up on the email list there. It's completely free. Sign up at the moment. I've got some amazing stuff that's coming out in the next couple of days. Just finishing off some things, and I think you'll be very excited. And if you're in London on the 25th of October, then please come along to my free event, because it's going to be really good. I always put on, a really great presentation. I spend a lot of time putting together my presentations, and I'm doing a live Q&A on the day as well. So I will be answering questions like this, that while I'm doing the presentation, it's not just one of those things where I walk away and then you think, well, hang on a second, I need to know how that works for me. You can ask away and ask me exactly how that works for you. So live in London on the 25th of October, or I'll see you next week on another Facebook Live on Wednesday at about 8:30 European time, which is 11 a.m. LA and about 2 p.m. in New York. So have a great day wherever you are, and take care. Make sure you look out for my iTunes podcast that's now live. New podcast, completely new. I started 2 weeks ago. Go to iTunes. It's Ecommx, ECOMMX, and that is the actual podcast name. And go and check that out, because that is cool. We've got 2 episodes up. Next week, we've actually got our first guest coming on, and that's going to be very interesting. It's about legal information for running your business out of the US or into the US. So it's anything to do with the US as an e-commerce store with a lawyer from America. Is absolutely fantastic. So get onto the iTunes store and go and subscribe, leave a comment. We'd love to know what you think about our podcast. I'm very excited about it, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on a normal Facebook Live, where I'll just be covering a particular topic of the day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.